Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic of HTML action attribute. Prior to this session, we discussed about two ways through which we can perform action either with absolute or with omitted value, right? So this session is in the continuation of the same, where we are going to talk about two more type of value. One is relative value and another one is a mail-to value. So what are these relative value and mail-to value? That I will explain in this particular session. So we are going to proceed in the same manner. Firstly, we will write the code from scratch. We'll try to understand the requirement, and then later on, once we are done with all theoretical concepts and coding, then we will compare the output and we'll try to understand how we can utilize the action attribute with relative value and mail-to value. Okay, but before we start the session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because these all sessions are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be very easy for you to understand the ongoing topic. For now, we are just focusing on these two values, but as I mentioned earlier, we have already covered two other values for the same action attribute. Alright, so I think now we are good to start with the session. So here you can see, firstly, like I have just put one question for all of you as an assignment. So here you can see the question is, why do we use absolute and omitted value in HTML form? This is very straightforward question, and you have just you are just supposed to share the short answer for this. Okay, don't it will not take much time. You can just write 1-2 liner answer, and that would be enough. By providing these answers, like, you are not preparing for yourself, but also you are sharing your knowledge with those who don't know the answer of this question. But in case if you are also not aware of the answer, so what you can do, you can refer one of our previous session, because there we have already discussed these things in a proper detailed manner. Okay, but if you know the answer, then please do share the answer in the comment section. Those who will provide the consistent correct answer will be spotlighted in the upcoming sessions for sure. Okay, so yeah, I think now we are good to start with the session. So here what we will do, like at the moment you can see we have just basic HTML code written over here with one heading, HTML by Sharmit. So let's save this code and refresh your browser. So once you refresh your browser, you will find that HTML by Sharmit heading is printed. Now what we are going to do, we are going to talk about form, as we are going to create the form, right? So write here form, and in form we will write one button. So let's add the button. Here we will write button, and in button we will write name as submit. Okay, let's try to put the type, and in type also we will write submit. Clear? So we are ready with this thing. Now what we will do now, like we have just added the button, right? So you can see button has been added. So let's add one input field, because for showing you the differences we need input field as well. So let's put input field type as text, name as a username, or maybe any name you can use here. For now I'm using username, and the placeholder, in placeholder we will again write username. Okay, so we have just noted out these two information. Let's save the code and refresh your browser. So here we can see we have username field with submit button. Right now if I put something here and click on submit, it will do nothing, right? Why? Because we are not providing any specific action here. So before adding action, let's add to heading here. So I'll write here h2 first action attribute value hyphen relative path. Okay, this is the first thing that we are going to learn. So what is this relative path? So just suppose you want to move your code for a particular HTML page. Now those who have referred previously session, they might know this thing, because we are initially when we were not discussing about the action attribute, that time also we were using the same approach. So we were using tspgm10.html. So this is also a kind of relative value. Why? because right now if I save this code and refresh my browser, after something is wrong here, maybe, yes. So right now if I save this thing and write my name here and click on submit, it will take my data to this next page with username Amit. As of now we are not using any method, so by default method is a get method, so that's why the output is shown in the URL section. But when we are not in when we are not using the get method, then in that case it will not show here. Okay, fine. So some of you might be thinking, is it always mandatory to put tspgm10.html, or we can use anything? Yes, for sure you can use anything. For example, if I want to go with tspgm1012.html, so let's save it. This time if I provide the value, click on submit, it will take me to this page which is tspgm1012.html. okay, so likewise you can use the same approach to move your code to a specific section of your page as well. So this kind of action attribute value is known as a relative path. Okay, so far we have discussed three types of values, including last two values from the session. So what are those values? First is absolute, second is omitted or maybe empty, and third one is this relative path. Now let's talk about another one, which is Mailto. So this is, let me show you how it will work. We will write here h2 second action attribute value hyphen mail2, and then you can save it. Let's verify heading is okay. All right, so now this time what we are going to do, we are going to change this from here and we will remove it from here. Then we will write mail2. After that we will write colon and any email address where you want to move this data. So let's for example, let's say if I want to move it to example@gmail.com, and then you can just save it. So once I save it, refresh my code. This time if I write Amit here and click on submit button, it will open my by default email sender application. Okay, why? Because you can see here this window is open. This is mainly for sending the emails. At the moment I have not configured this application, Outlook application, that's why I'm not going to show you the further things. But in your case, if your email is already configured, so it will directly take you to the next email ID which you have specified in the action attribute. Okay, but right now, as I mentioned, I have not configured this application, that's why it is not doing anything here. Okay, so it's a kind of small assignment for you. You can try this thing by configuring your email setup, and it is nothing related to HTML. Okay, you can just directly set up your email as we all normally do with the app. Okay, but when your app, and I'm pretty much sure that most of you are already configured your email, right? So in that case, it will directly take your data to this example@gmail.com or whatever email you are providing here. Okay, so if someone asks you what is mail to send from data via email, then you can say using mail to scheme to send form data via email. So mainly it is used only for sending the email data to email. Okay, so I think now it is clear that why do we use. Although if someone asks you, like if I honestly say that only the relative path is something that we mostly use, because we have to move our data either to any particular page or particular section of the web page. So in that case we use that. Rarely we use this mail to and all, but still we should know these methods so that whenever it is needed for a project, we can directly use it. Okay, so yeah, these are the all things which I wanted to share with you all in this session. And now I request you to please do share your knowledge in the comment section for the question I have put here: why do we use absolute and omitted value in the HTML form? So it will also help you to prepare for your interviews and exams, but also it is beneficial for those who don't know anything about HTML, so they can directly take reference from the comment section. and those who will provide the consistent correct answer will be spotlighted in the upcoming session. So yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.